pressure in order to remove the child law that was existing, which was put by Suzanne. It was very much put in order to appease the National Council of Women and make them happy, you know, which is, you can say it's not exactly pro-women, but it appears to be more pro-women than, you know, certain misogynistic forces in the country who don't view women as equal partners would like it to be. They're immediately trying to remove it, you know, because they're the vocal and they're the organized and they understand what they want. We don't understand what we want. We want a modern state. What does that mean? Well, you know, we want to have things like they have in Europe. Basically, yeah, you want to have a government that functions like they have in Europe. And okay, fine. So you're talking about the institution. That's fine. The institution is necessary and it's going to be there. It's like building the house that you're going to live in. And you're going to have to decide who's going to live in that house with you and how you're going to live in that house and what are the house rules. Have you decided what you want? That's the question. What do you want? What kind of policies would you like to see? As, you know, a small representation of the middle class. What are your hopes? What are the things that you hope to achieve? What are the issues that you care about? It could be gender equality. It could be protection of property. It could be, you know, having a more socialist, you know, policy. It could be having more capitalist policy and whatever. It could be that you want to legalize hash, which, by the way, the moment the campaign to legalize hash is going to start, I'm telling you, half of the people inside this group right here will join. But those are the things that we're going to face in terms of a country. Those are the culture wars. Are we prepared to fight the culture war? From the beginning, we are kind of afraid of fighting the culture war. You know, we're terrified of the culture. We don't want to fight a war. We just want things to go smoothly. Things are not going to go smoothly. That train, the train has already like moved. Khalas. The ship has sailed. We're in it. We're in the sea. There's going to be fluctuations. Things are not going to end coming the next elections. You know, because participating in the government or in the political system, it's an ongoing process. You're going to have to make sure that whoever is representing you is going to represent you well. You're going to have to make sure that the issues that you care about are being, you know, done in the way you want them to move on. You have to gain a lot of, not even telling you gain political knowledge, but at least understand what kind of society you want to live in. Like today, the new head of state television has announced that he is going to cut all pictures of kissing and whatever and hugging from the movies.
Again?
More, yeah, even everything,
more.
everything, yes, no, even foreign ones, it brings up the question of suddenly like the response is, oh, it has begun, oh, Wilissa, we're gonna see other things. No, it's not Wilissa. If you think that artistic integrity need to be maintained for movies, that movies are not just ways for you to just pass the time, but actually are forms of artistic expression that need to be protected, freaking say so. Make your voice heard. You know, demand immediately that this stops, that this is stupidity. That whoever doesn't want to see what's on TV needs to shut down the channel. That if they don't want to see pictures of kissing and hugging, which are, mind you, regular human interactions that happen everywhere, that's just by not seeing it, doesn't mean it's not going to happen.
It doesn't exist.
It doesn't exist, and that's the idea. We'll always try, to hide from the problem. We'll always try to hide the problem. We're always afraid of the problem appearing in a certain way or this way or that way, and we cannot do that anymore. Khalas. It's impossible for us to do so. Because if we're not going to take a decision about the issues that we care about in terms of society, other people will make those decisions for us. And suddenly you will be living in your nightmare of other people making the decisions for you, and you have no power to do so because, let's face it, when it came down to choose and actually move or actually speak up, you decided that you were just sick and tired of the revolution, and I'm so exhausted and burned out, and which is what's happening, which is the general mood of the country. I was just speaking, he was here before every, he was telling me, like, of all his friends, not a single one of them cares anymore. They don't. Well, explain to them that there's a big possibility that, a lot of people went to Ikhwan Online and talked to them. And they said, we're going to ban drinking and we're going to ban movies, and whoever wants to do anything can do it in their home. طيب, if you enjoy the curfew, understand that you might be facing a curfew for life بقى. Okay, is that the kind of society you want to live in? Alright? Beyond that, there needs to be also understanding amongst Koreans that the rest of the country has issues. Not with Koreans, but with the disconnect of Koreans with the rest of the country itself. We're almost like Americans. We don't recognize that anything outside of Cairo exists, unless it's a satellite of Cairo. Yeah, unless it's a group of Cairo people going and making something in Sharm el-Sheikh, and a group of Cairo people going to do something in Sahel al-Shamali, and that's it. And that's as far as we're gonna go. No. What we're facing here in terms of social infrastructure and issues is very similar to the situation Germany found itself in with East Berlin, East Germany and West Germany. And West Germany recognized immediately, that East Germany needs to become a priority. That as bad as things are in West Germany, and the ideas of the West Germans, because it's not as efficient as they would like, that they were really, really bad in East Germany. And in order for them to actually function as a country, the East Germans need to come first. The same operates in terms of Cairo. We need to understand that we need to announce that we understand that the other governorates are going to have to come first in terms of allocation of funds, in terms of trying to establish certain sectors of economy there, in terms of trying to get the ball rolling, in terms of services. Alashan, we complain that we have bad services, and we complain how we have bad government and everything. Well, that's nothing compared to what they face. I have a friend of mine who lives in the States. He works as an immigration lawyer. He's a Christian. And usually, business is booming because, he usually gets lots of religious persecution cases, asylum cases. So it all works here, religious refugees, whatever. He has been getting, for the past 2 years, a very peculiar kind of client, which are rich Christians from Upper Egypt, who are going to California. So he asked them, he's like, are there cases of harassment? Are they prosecuting you because of your religion? Like, whatever. They're like, no, that's not the problem. What's the problem? Well, we are all like gold merchants, and we have, our average income, our average wealth is about, let's say, $7-8 million. But we can't get good meat. We can't get good meat. We cannot buy good meat. We cannot buy good, for example, milk, because Cairo, with its 25 million people who live here, are a fantastic, maelstrom of resources. We suck everything in. Remember last summer, for example, when we're having electricity cuts? Entire governorates, ya ma'allim, lost the electricity so we can have our air conditioning. Because there are certain areas in Cairo that, we cannot really deal with the heat. It's unacceptable, it's inhuman. And on the other hand, they're facing that on a regular basis. And they shouldn't face that. And we shouldn't be better than them, we shouldn't be more important than them. Yes, we are the capital of kulla haja, but they should become our focus. No matter what we believe in, they should become our focus. You're also, and you need to do this, and you need to organize the people inside, and we need to actually connect with the rest of Cairo, and you need to have a unified front in Cairo, understand how Cairo functions. Because, have you guys paid attention how big Cairo is? There are certain neighborhoods in Cairo I've never stepped foot in. Entire neighborhoods that I don't know anything about, that if I find myself in, وأنا مكاريا through and through, وعشت أنا تربع حياتي I can't find my way in or out. I don't know anybody in there. It's like a different country. And we're not even talking about عشوائيات. We're talking about, عابدين. I don't know enough about عابدين. There is not enough in we have, for example, here an owner of another bookstore called Bekia Books. She's sitting right there, Rana. And she opened a bookstore, in Medinat Nasr because she was sick of not having places in Medinat Nasr that could actually, people would want to go and hang out in. That's Nasr City. That's 5 minutes away. Imagine when we're talking about the other neighborhoods. Now, beyond that, we are going to face the issue of regionalism. The idea of regionalism is that every region has its own values, and they're going to try to push policies that affect their own values. Now, the perfect example of this is what happened in Qina about 10 days ago. The situation in Qina immediately in the media took the image and shine of a sectarian issue, and in reality, it wasn't a sectarian issue when it first started with it. It actually had very important social subtexts. First of all, when it came down for the government to pick out the new governors, instead of actually having people inside the government to have an election, because let's face it, if I don't mind having a governor's elections, as many elections as we can get until we perfect the system, it's a good thing. We're all new at this, so we need as many tries as we can. But instead of actually doing this, they went and appointed one, again, for them. And when they went and appointed one, they did the same, they followed the same plan that Mubarak had, which is army people, police people, NDP affiliated. There is going to be a specific quota of how many people who are going to be Christian and how many people are going to be Muslim. It came down to it, and they needed to put a Christian governor, so the immediate response was, well, which area had a Christian governor? Oh, that area. Okay, we'll just remove and put another Christian governor. People in Hena were like, it's not that we have a problem that he's a Christian, but there are Christians and Muslims here. Why is it that we need to have a Christian governor twice in a row? And why don't we actually, why aren't we not trusted with the idea of an election and we actually go and vote?